All right. So we got here this little Honda. XR80 or 90, I think the gentleman said. Um, let's see. So he put a new throttle on here, throttle cable rather. And says that it revs all the high hell. So let's get into it and see the reason why. Let's look at the contents of the gas. Let's look at that their carburetor. He said he doesn't think that it's out of time or anything like that, but we can check that. You know, check for spark and things like that. Well, not check for spark because he said that it. Well, we'll just go through the whole thing because you just never know. He's got two of them, so you'll probably see the the twin of this one on the channel because he wants to bring me that one too. This is a let's see here. Yeah. 1980 model. But yeah, it's a cool little bike. I really like it. And he's really took good care of it here. I mean, this thing is, I like it when somebody brings in something like this to the shop. Just because it looks like it's well maintained. So that being said, let's get to it. All right. Well, first of all, we're just going to see if she's got spark here. All right. Let's see here. There we go. These don't exactly go on there because they're kind of for like, lawnmowers and things, but you can as long as it's making a little connection, So, let's see here. Come on, get in there. All right. So let's see if she's making spark here. All right. I like to try to get one that fits these and still use that one right there. All right, let's see here. All right. The on position. Okay. Let's see if you can see her. Pop. Do a little sparking action. All right, ready? Let's see here. Oh yeah, you see that? Alrighty. Okay. Well, she's got spark. Okay, now let's see. Let's look at this plug here real quick. Here, I'll bring you back real quick. So what we're going to do, we're going to dribble a little bit of fuel now down inside the spark plug hole here. Just a tiny bit. Just to see if we get a little popping action off of, oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, look at that, That spark plug's got a lot of soot on it. That's from it running rough. So let's clean that off real quick a little bit here. All right, that should do a little bit better. All right. Yeah, let's put that back on there and see if we get like a little bit of you know, like a little action there from it. There we are. Okay, we know we got spark. Let's see if we can't get it to pop just a little bit. Let's turn on, let's open up the door here. All right, make sure that she's on run. Let's see here. Just like the gentleman said, she revs out a high hell when you start it up. So let's see what we can get into. Now, he did say that he replaced that cable there. Right here, let me show you real quick. Yeah, right here. So this, okay. All right, let's see if we can't get into there and see what exactly is going on. Maybe that thing is, you know, and sometimes you can deal, you know, you could fool with this, but we are going to drain the tank and clean the carburetor too also though. So let's get to it. All right. It's the next day. Mrs. Lewis Mowers said dinner time. So we you know, we had to stop. So let's get back on this guy here. What we're gonna do now is we are going to get that carb off, but before we do that, we're gonna get that fuel out of there. I don't know how long it's been. If it looks good and everything, we're not going to drain the whole thing out, but you know, these things, you know, they tend to sit a little bit, so it's always a good practice to make sure that the fuel is nice and clean. And then take that carb off, clean the carb, see what's going on in here, see if these two adjustment screws are off any. What's cool about these older guys is that this screw right here, guys. So what I'm trying to say is that the newer stuff, it sometimes has this adjustment screw plugged off with a little cap. You know, if I ever run across one with that cap on there, I'll show you how to drill into there, get that cap off. But you got to be careful when you do that, because there's you know, a chance that you'll damage the newer carburetors. But I love these older carburetors because they do have the option for that adjustment screw. See, it has like a little flathead on it, both of these. The newer ones do not. So if you're ever having problems, it's because of the emissions, I believe, on the newer ones. But, you know, these old guys, just love them. All right, let's get to it. Sometimes I get the story behind these things, you know, when people bring them in. And I love the stories because me having worked on so many newer stuff, older stuff, you know, I like the stories on so this should be a 10mm here. Let's take this off. I love the stories on this stuff. He said that his son used to ride this one when his son was younger, and now his grandkids are going to be riding it. So let's get this thing rocking and rolling, you know, for the next generation. I like them kind of stories because I have kids myself, and you know, my kids been you know, riding things that been in the family for a while also, you know. You know, we got to have the muffin tray. Don't leave home without it, you know, kind of like a credit card. Let's get those 2 little 10 mils off. Let's see if we can get this bugger up here. Okay. All right, so I can't do this with one hand on that side. So I'm gonna bring you back after I get that that carburetor loose, and then I'll show you how to tell if this is on wrong or not. All right, I'll bring you back. All right, so let's get this. I kind of cracked it off camera, but well, you'll get the gist of it here. So when you take these off, see, this one's coming off very good. That's why I love these bikes when people bring them in, that they're well maintained, you know. It just makes it so much better experience for, you know, all around for everybody. So let's see here. Let's get this kind of looping over here on that. Okay. We want to try to get to that line back there so we can drain that fuel out. But also I want to show you is this. Okay, so now when you take this off right here, pay attention. Let me see if you can get in there. All right, now can you see? All right, so pay attention of that slot. Okay, let's take this off of here. Pay attention to that slot right there. Now at that slot, see that slot right there? If that slot is not on correctly, it also give you that revving too. So there's the fat side, and then there is the spring side, I call it, like the skinny side. Okay? Now, it was on correctly. It was. So that'll tell you if like the idle jet is clogged or something else is clogged in there that making those RPMs go straight up in the air. Or it just could be a little bit of everything, you know. But yeah, that was on correctly. So we can rule out that not being on correctly because the fat side needs to be. Because this screw right here goes in and out, and it kind of gauges the amount of air, fuel kind of, you know, mixing and things like that. There's a lot of science to these little guys. People don't realize it, really. Very interesting the way that these things are, you know, in cars and boats and anything carbureted. It's very cool the way that this all kind of has like a symphony going on there, you know. But yeah, let's get some of that fuel out. Okay, so we got our clear container here. So, and then I just kind of like extended this line a little bit, you know. So we're gonna go ahead and open this up, and this also will tell you if any of this right here is clogged, or if he's getting some kind of a bad deal with the you know, or with the flow. And of course, you know, we're gonna, if there's any kind of macaroni in there, you know, or water, especially water, because that'll make for a bad day, you know that. So yeah, see, here goes nice fuel here. You know, it looks pretty clean. It's not too yellow. Maybe you know, maybe we may not have to drain the whole thing, but we're gonna fill that up, make sure that there's no water inside this tank here, you know. And the gentleman, I mean, he says, you know, that he's already cleaned this tank before and kind of, you know, do a little overhaul. He did a beautiful job with the paint. Because he said when he got it years ago, it had a, you know, it had a bad spot right here, and man, he did a really good job. But let's, yeah, that's not looking too bad. Doesn't smell too bad either, you know. So there goes. Okay, I think we're done. Let's crack the top of that and get a little bit air going through there, just in case there's a little bit of. So yeah, I think that's about it. That's cool. Okay, let's let this set up a little bit and then come back, and then we'll get that that carburetor off. But let's set that up a little bit to make sure that there's no contaminants that's going to float down to the bottom. Okay, we got the carb off. Oh, that don't look too bad. I can see that these screws have not been fooled with too much, because you can always tell when they're all the way out or all the way in, or, you know, you can always tell about, you know, the way that these carburetors act if they've been fooled with. I'm pretty sure that things are clogged up in here. Actually, I know damn sure, because the way that that thing is revving up, the mixture is not right, the screws are not right, the carburetor is clogged, and it's a little bit of the cabling too. So being with the new cable, you know, when you install these new parts onto these old parts, you know, it has to be adjusted just right. Now, I'm going to show you how to adjust that after we get this thing cleaned. So let's get Phillips here. What's cool about these is that they're just straightforward. There's no kind of, you know, there's no kind of fancy cabling or anything like that. I love these old guys. Oh, these old jobbies here. You know, Honda gets cloned so much. That's how you know that Honda is right on, you know. I mean, there we are. Okay. All right, let's see here. Yeah, there's a little bit of... Okay, so let me show you. All this here. Okay, you see all that macaroni down in there? Let me get you in the light here. See all that macaroni? That's going to make for a bad day there. So we're going to put her into Vibrasonic. Now, the float looks damn near new. Now this emulsion tube and this jet here, those are going to be like that. That's your problem. This is the whole problem. So when we get that all cleaned up and adjusted, that little guy's going to be really nice for his grandkids. I'm so glad that we've seen that, because I'd rather see a dirty carb than a clean carb and then have issues, because then you start getting into things that you really can't see. So, but yeah, it's just very, very simple process here. Never be afraid to take things apart. If you take things apart, you're never gonna know how things operate. So remember, it's just nuts and bolts. You can always take it off. You can always put it back on. You know, I know it's weird to say that, but over the years I've learned that if you're afraid of something, you know, if you're afraid of something, you're never gonna learn. Really, you can't be afraid. I mean, it's already broke. So, I mean, yeah, you can break it even more, but you're really never gonna know how it operates either. You know, I've always been one to yeah, look at that. That thing came off nice and easy. Usually these things are pretty clogged up in there, so that's nice. That actually looks, you know, to be honest with you, it actually looks very, very new. I'm gonna have to ask the gentleman if he's ever replaced that float before. Because, I mean, it's 1980, you know. So, yeah. We're going to go ahead and get the screwdriver here. Take off the emotion tube. Motion. I'm not even sure how. Alright, so. Yeah, it can use some cleaning. So, let's see here. Just a little bit of that macaroni down in there can go a long way. All right, that one's got a little bit of razzmatazz going on there. All right, so just kind of get in the habit of doing this, you know, getting things a little unstuck in that, but you want a little bit of drag on this because this is how you gauge, you know, once you get warm, and then that's how you gauge, you know what I mean? You never want to mess with this screw right here, guys. Don't mess with that. If it's loose, tighten it a little bit, but it has to have a little bit of drag on it. You know, if it's loose, even a vibration, you know, it'll make it, you know. But this is nice and tight, exactly the way it's supposed to be. So, with that being said, let's get rock and rolling and put her into Vibrasonic, and I'll bring you back. All right. Take a little bit of that simple green. Now, line the bottom of it. Just a tiny, tiny bit. There you are. Just so it can hit all four corners. Add water up to here. Start putting in your parts. There you go. Got old macaroni there. That big guy. Right there. Tubes. Alright. We're not going to put that in there. We're going to dab any of, if it's got water or anything like that, we'll dab it. But that thing, look at that thing. I mean, whoop. Let's see here. Yeah, look at that thing. That thing is very clean. So, that, not so much. But, let's get some water in it and fire her up. Alright. Now we got our water in there. We're going to put it on 65. Okay. Now, she's pretty dirty. So, what we're going to do, let's go backwards. What we're going to do, we'll put it on there for 30 minutes. So, get her nice and clean. Okay. Put on the heat. Put on the vibration. Now it's gonna be a little loud. See all that macaroni already coming out? See it right there? Love this machine. All right, let's see what else we can get into. So, like I said, yeah, it's gonna be a little loud. Sorry, guys. Like I said, this thing's been well maintained. You know, over the years, the guy is really taking good care of this thing. So, what we're gonna do, I've already started to kind of adjust this a little bit because it was kind of like out a little bit. Let's just make sure that she's going up and down here. Yep, nice consistent, nice fall, nice and consistent there. So that's good. Let's see. Tires got good tread on it still. Oh, dinner's done. Well, let's give it a little bit more because you see, it didn't quite get up to temperature. I liked it, you know, I like it to be 65, and then at 0. So let's give it about like 15 more minutes. It's a little cold in the shop today, so that's the reason why I didn't get up to temperature there. Let's give it 15 more minutes and see. There you go. You see all that white? That's water. So there was some condensation in the you know, in the carb there. You just never know what's inside here until you get, there you go, until you get into it. So let's put her back on there and we'll come back. So I just want to show you here. You see a little bit of beading down there? So now this has been sitting for a little bit. Now I'm going to put it to the side. Let's see if you can see that. There was a little tiny bit of water in there. Do you see that? Let's see if you can get like, let's see here. Oh yeah. Do you see that? A little bit of water. See it down there? Yeah. So that can also make for a bad day, be honest with you. But you know, it may not happen like right away, but that water eventually gets past everything. So as soon as I seen that little bit of white inside the vibrasonic there and you know, ultrasonic, I knew to come back to this. Do you see it? Yeah, it's just tiny bit, but you know, just a little bit will, you know, mess you up. I just wanted to show you that. So yeah, we got all that water out of there. I took some compressed air and I blew it out. And I got my flashlight down in there. So yeah, just, you know, you just never know. All right, let's see if we can make it. Come on. See, 65 and 62. Should go up to 63 here in a minute. Oh, I don't know. It's close enough, right? A couple degrees. All right, let's turn that off right there. You never want to leave this on. Just, you know, especially with that top off of there. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she's looking clean. All righty. Let's see here. Let's get our little things here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's nice and clean. Oh. All right. Oh yeah. Nice. guys. All right, I'll bring you back for assemble. Look how dirty that water. Yeah, remember we put fresh chemical and fresh water in there. Now, when you blow these out with compressed air, be very careful. But be sure to get all the chemical and water out also. So, you know, just it's kind of like a little bit of a balance with that. All right, now we're going to go ahead and, again, sorry about the noise. We're going to go ahead and clear all these out with compressed air. Also, we're going to clear it out with some mechanics wire and wire brush and bristles and whatnot. But yeah, like I said, you know, get all this water out of there and chemical. There you go. Again, sorry about the noise, guys. We don't want to introduce anything foreign to the clean carburetor, so that's the reason why we do this. Okay, so let's see here. All right, now we're going to address the smaller of the two first. Now you take a tiny bristle of your wire brush here, and you just go inside the holes there. Okay, you see that one? Let's see. You see that one's all the way through? Right? That's what you want to do at every single one of them. Okay? Now, some of them are bigger than the other. So, that's when you use the mechanics wire. Okay? Okay, go through all that. That one's good. Put that one to the side. Now, you want to have your work surface nice and clean when you're putting these things back together, because all this work that you're doing will be for nothing. Okay? Now, I do condense these videos down pretty short, but trust me, it's a lot of work doing this stuff. Okay, so that's all nice and clean. Look how clean that is. No more macaroni. You know, all nice and clear in there. All right. Now, this bigger guy here, he can take this mechanics wire. See, it's all the way through. Go right here. That one's all the way through. See, it goes all the way through. See, no obstructions anymore. No more macaroni. All right, all the way through that side too. And so on. Okay, nice and clean. We are going to rock and roll. Okay, so we're going to take our bristle for these little guys, because these little guys too, they have big and small on the bigger guy. So keep that in mind also. Let's go all the way through all of these. This is another step. Even though that you've already put the thing in the ultrasonic, you're just never going to know until you do it thoroughly. You know, you want things done thoroughly when you're cleaning a carburetor. Even on a car carburetor, you know. So don't think that's any different, really. All right, let's rock and roll. Let's get this one first in there. Okay. What's cool about these old carburetors is that you don't need to tighten them down so tight, you know, because nice little brass pieces, you don't want to go tighten it down to Texas, you know. So let's let's get this one a little snug there. Okay. Now, yeah, that's nice and clean. Okay. All right. So now we're going to take our float and needle. See? Our needle and seat there. Now, you see how it kind of dangles? That's what you want. Okay. Now you're going to put that down in there. Now here's your pin. Your pin, you're going to want a little bit of a drag on it, to be honest with you. Let's see here. You're going to want a little bit of a drag, but not too much of a drag on there. So you're going to line that up. It's a little bit of a difficult task to do sometimes, you know, especially when you get a little older and you can't see too well. So let's see here. There you are. Okay. There you are. Okay, now let me show you real quick. This, focus. Okay. This right here, you want to be able to see that needle going up and down. That's how you're going to know that you're going to be functioning there. See how it's got that motion up and down in there, right? And you're going to want your needle to be nice. You know, you don't want your I mean, not your needle, but your pin. You don't want your pin to be hanging way off that side or way off the other side. You know, you get the drift. So let's, I'm going to show you a way to test if that thing is seating properly or not. Okay, so you take a scrap piece of line here and you want to blow. See? Now you lift the float up. See? Now that's how you know that you're seated properly. All right, let's continue with a symbol. Okay. At the bottom, nice and centered there. Take your screws, put it on. Nice and simple like. I like using magnetic screws. Just because of the simple fact that you can kind of do hands-free sometimes, you know. So put that down there like that. You don't want to go all the way. You just want to go a little bit because you don't want your bowl to do this motion, you know. You want to be able to put it nice and even. Okay? Just kind of go back and forth a little bit, little by little. Don't tighten it too tight or you're going to crush that little O-ring that sits inside that little groove there. Okay? Alrighty. Now, try not to flip this thing around too much. Just very slow, like that, right? Because you don't want that pin inside that float to slip out. They're very tedious when it comes to that. But look how clean that thing got. That is super clean now. I love it. All right, let's bring you back over and put it on the bike. All right, so first what we want to do, we want to, okay, you see this side with that right there? That is the side that you want this portion of your, you know, little cup. I call it a cup. I don't know what the technical word is for it, but you want that to seat down in there. So you turn it kind of back and forth to let it get seated in there, you know. Okay, nice and smooth. All right. Let's get it. You want to kind of turn it a little bit. There she goes. Now she's seated. And then bring that down. Now you don't want any resistance when you're putting these on. If you have resistance, just start all over again. There should be no resistance in this, really, you know, or you don't have it seated right. So let's see here. Oh, there you go. All right. Now, let's put the cup back on here. All right. Now, when you get to your older ones, be very careful not to rip any of this stuff. Sometimes what you can do is that you can heat it up with a heat gun. And then sometimes you don't want to do that. I just noticed something. Let's put that drain tube back on there. This is pretty important right here. So if the flow ever sticks, then the fuel will go over the top of where it's supposed to go and down and out of this little section here. So this tube prevents it from going on that hot motor. So if you ever have a crack or this tube has fallen off, please put this tube back on, because this will prevent fuel going on your hot motor. Just a tip for you there. It's there for a reason, you know. So don't think it's not. Now, I'm going to take this off here, take that off there, and I'll bring you back. All right, let's get this little air cleaner box off here, because thinking it's giving me a little bit of a, sorry about that, you didn't see that whole thing, did you? So it's giving me a little bit of a problem here. So yeah, that's nice and clean. Look how clean, look how, this is the way that you need to maintain a piece of equipment, a toy such as this, you know, a nice little bike. You know, it's like, come on, man. If people would treat this stuff as well as this one's been treated, I probably wouldn't have a channel on YouTube, to be honest with you. But you know, that's what happens. That's what happens. So let's route that down there. Alrighty. Now see how that, I wasn't fooling around with this portion right here, because if you tear, I'm sorry, you know, fooling around with this portion here, if you tear these, you're going to have a world of trouble, because this would definitely keep your bike from running properly. Any kind of ripped tubing or anything like that, you know, it's not going to run right. So just keep that in mind. Let's get, where's our muffin pan there? Where's our muffin? Oh, right here. Okay. Yeah, my dad taught me this little muffin pan trick. You know, you get them from the dollar store. Don't take your wife's pans. All right, I learned from experience. So let's see here. We're getting off track there, Lewis. So get this on there. Okay, put those two nuts on there. All right. See here. I've had one person comment, "You need a table, Lewis." I said, well, yeah, you know, I do. I need a tripod too, but it's coming in the mail. But yeah, I just started this channel last month, so I'm learning. Alrighty. So when you're tightening up these things, don't tighten them very tight. Just a little bit snug on each side. Be very gentle. You don't want to do all this work and go busting things off, because you're in a hurry and you're excited that you're going to be getting it back up and running and whatnot. So just be very careful, especially on these older jobbies, because you can never tell, how brittle things are, so that's nice and tight. Okay. Alrighty, let's get this guy on. Make sure that your screw there is where you can access it, All right, let's see here. Let's get this bad boy on there. Okay, I'm going to loosen that up a tad bit. You don't want to be fighting with the thing. All right. Nice and simple and slow, True Vintage has got a good channel too. He taught me that little trick with the heating this portion up. I pay attention to those guys, to other channels, and I recommend other channels. I'm not a hater, with the channels and all that. So let's get this on there. Hold on. Let's get it together there. Alright, she's getting it. Come on, there we are. You don't want to get in the habit of forcing things. Just take your time and and it pops right in there. You know what I mean? So let's see here. You don't want to get in the habit of trying to force things that won't work, So don't. There you are. Okay. All right, let me tighten this up. I'll bring you back. All right, check it out. We may have to adjust some things. All right. Let's see here. Remember before she was sky high, so. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a little adjustment here. Yeah, I just turned it off. So, we're gonna have to do, now that it's running lower than what it was, now we're gonna have to adjust these and the cable essentially, but these right here are more important. And then don't forget about this guy here, your choke, you know. So you gotta kind of start out there, get her warmed up, and then adjust. So I'll bring you back after we get done adjusting those two screws and fooling around with it a little bit. But yeah, she's gonna run good. All right, just for like right now, I put this all right, well, get you an update here. We got a major problem here. I can hear something rattling around in there. So we're gonna have to break this down and do a little investigation. All right, let's get to it. Okay, so there's a bolt here and a bolt there. You take this, oh, and then the two over here on the head. So just go ahead and take that exhaust right on out of there. I mean, it won't hurt just to kind of leave it in there. So we're gonna have to take this motor out and see exactly why it has that noise inside here. You know, we don't want to do all this work and you know, send something that's rattling like, you know, like a tin can down the road. So you know, and then we'll have to address this while we're at it, because this right here, I believe that's bad too, right there. So sucking air and everything. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so after getting that cover off here, these two bolts right here have to come off, and this little thing right here turns, and then you slide it off like that, and the whole little sprocket comes off. Because we're gonna need to take the motor off here and see what's going on inside here. And I'll bring you back. Yeah, like I said, that just comes off just like that. The two 10mm bolts, and then that little retainer, you just kind of, you know, you turn it like this and then you slide it out. Now we're going to go after these two more engine mounting bolts and then take the motor off. Okay, so far we got the engine mounting bolts off. We had to take the tank off, get to the magneto you know, the magneto down there. So that's what you got to do, because you don't want to go taking the motor part, I mean off, and having that magneto wire getting caught up on anything, you know. So there you go. Gently put that back down. Okay. All right. Fish this magneto wire through here. All right. All right. Now it's all free and clear. See? Now we can just take the motor out, get it on the bench. Okay. So got it all off of there. Now we're gonna see what in the world is making all that rattling noise. I see a lot of shavings in here, like metallic-y, you know. But yeah, let's see the reason why it's making so much so much racket in there, you know. And this was sticking too, you know. Like the piston wasn't wanting to go up and down properly. So you know, at first I thought there was, you know, like a ring broke off in there. Let's see if that's the case. I don't know. Oh, before I go, I got to take these off, right? And then there should be, okay, here's the tensioner right here. And then around here, here's another tensioner. So, and then we're going to have to get something to hold that little chain up. You don't want it falling down in there once we get that jug off of there, you know. I mean, well, the top here, you know, the jug down here. So, yeah, let's get into it. I want to show you. Be careful. This is that guide right here. See? Right, it's the chain guide. So you got to be real careful not to, you know, let that slip around there. And look at all these metallic shavings on there. Something is going on with this little guy. Well, we're going to get down to the bottom of it. Okay, so next what we have to do is that we have to get these little guys here off. So this portion right here can come off. But be very careful doing this. Don't do this with any kind of impact or anything like that. Just, you know, do it by your, you know, by hand, you know. If you think it's going to snap, just stop, you know. You know. So, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and take these two bolts off. And remember to grab something, you know, like a coat hanger or a piece of mechanics wire or something like that, you know, to keep that from falling down in there. Okay, so you see how I got the wire here? I got it around the sprocket and the chain and everything, so nothing's going to fall down in there. Let's get this a little wiggle. Okay. There we are. Okay. This to the side. Wow, I'm getting, look at all that shavings. I'm getting splinters, metal splinters in my fingers. All right. Take this. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that thing is really, really bad. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop right here. Call the guy real quick. Okay, now we took this cam off of there. Now look at this. See that, like, sooty looking stuff? Focus. Yeah, that's not good. So all this has been kind of rocking and rolling in there. That's where all those shavings are coming from. See all over here too? Right there too. So yeah, we're going to take the top of that off and dig a little further. All right, so you loosen this bolt, loosen that, loosen this nut right here, and then this little bolt comes out, and it's got like a little flathead screwdriver tip on it. Okay. Now let's see if we can get that thing off of it. Okay, now take this one out. That guy there. I gotta do this with two hands, guys. So yeah, now it's ready to come out. All right, so today's Halloween. Got my candy out for the chitlins. Yeah, this is not good. So let's look at this. Got my chain anchored down to my hammer. Hey, whatever works, right? Let's see here. Yeah. Yep. She's tired. We're gonna have to bring her back to life. Like Frankenstein. Yeah. No pun intended, right? Let's let's address something else here. Let's see. All right. Let me poke around a little bit and I'll bring you back. Okay. Now get everything laid out here. You know, got the chain all strung up there. Now, this is gonna conclude part one. We're gonna have to wait on some parts here. As you can see, this thing is trashed, so we're gonna get a new head, new rockers. This is gonna be new here, new cam, new gaskets, and so on. But yeah, remember guys, it's just nuts and bolts. With that being said, God bless. Have a great day.